Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Jeff Gerard, and I'm a firefighter with the Fayette County Fire Department. Today, I'd like to briefly discuss information on how we conduct fire prevention through fire safety measures and mitigation plans by way of inspections and code enforcement. With any fire prevention plan, you must address the three E's. The three E's being education, engineering, and enforcement. All of these are vital in making the public aware of fire safety and prevention. To start, education, probably the most paramount. Fire protection and prevention education comes in the form of fire safety education. Education is conducted in schools and through citizen fire academies here in the county. Educating the public comes in the form of fire extinguisher use by the generating fire escape plans, and just general knowledge on how preventing fires. Next, engineering, whether it may be new construction or the renovation of existing buildings. Engineering shall meet the life safety codes of NFPA 101 and NFPA 10. Engineering is a form of fire control that can consist of building construction materials that help in mitigating fire spread. We will discuss building types later, but engineering also addresses fire protection systems such as automatic sprinkler systems, fire alarms and detectors, and also fire-resistive spray materials. Some of the building construction types we have in our area that pose the biggest hazards are that of the hospital and filming studios. But to go back to the fire types of building constructions, we have 5. Type 1 is consistent of fire-resistant materials such as concrete and steel. That's going to be what we find in our hospitals and our filming studios. Type 2, non-combustible. Type 3 is ordinary construction. Type 4 is heavy timber. This would be a lot of the barns found in rural areas of our county. And type 5, which makes up most of the buildings in our area, approximately 70%. That's the type you're going to see in your residential homes. And then last would be enforcement. Enforcement of the fire codes is done annually by the department's BFP, this is the Bureau of Fire Prevention, annually at the company level by fire personnel, and during new construction and renovations of existing buildings. During an inspection, the BFP inspector will be checking fire suppression systems, fire extinguishers, fire emergency action plans, and any construction changes and renovations that may be taking place. So a little bit about how the code is enforced. Here in Fayette County, the Fire and Life Safety Code shall be administered and enforced by the Bureau of Fire Protection, as previously stated. This division of the fire department has an overall goal of providing a reasonably safe environment from fire for the occupants, and that again is going to be per the NFPA Standard 101 Life Safety Code. In our jurisdiction, the codes for new and existing occupants will have to meet all current codes and standards. Existing buildings will meet or exceed all previous fire codes and may be subject to exemption if the buildings meet a reasonable degree of safety. Buildings classified as historic shall comply with provisions of the code where modifications are permitted. The department will allow a reasonable amount of time in fire compliance with the understanding of the possibility of great expenditures, disruption of service, and the degree of hazards. Some of the local organizations that help determine whether a building material is deemed fire resistant is companies such as 3M, who test and certify materials in their labs to determine their resistance. These tests are done in accordance with the American Society of Testing Code ASM 1119. Also, both UL and NFPA are 2 of your certification testing companies or other entities that establish code that is requirements for fire safety. If a building during an inspection is identified as unsafe, it will be identified unsafe during the fire inspection. It'll be documented and passed along to the building owner and occupant. Compliance with documented violations will be mandatory. Building owners and occupants will be subjected to fines should they not be compliant. BFP also, being the authority that has jurisdiction, has the authority to condemn the building should repairs be considered too great. The Bureau of Fire Prevention is responsible for plan reviews. This is for new commercial construction, which shall include additions and alterations to commercial structures. The purpose is to ensure that fire and life safety code requirements that are a matter of local and state law are included within the plans and documented associated with issuing a construction permit for the various occupancy classification. Construction building plans, additions, and alterations shall be examined with a determination being made as to what type of occupancy classification or mixed occupancy classification shall be applied to the structure. The use of the NFPA 101 occupancy classification definition shall apply in this circumstance. Once the occupancy classification is determined, plans shall be examined sufficiently to apply requirements within local ordinances and the state marshal's office rules and regulations and state law. Specific documentation requirements can be found in the Bureau of Fire Prevention Procedure Guide documents on our county website. Documents and publications shall be used in the plans review process include but are not limited to the International Building Code, International Fire Prevention Code, NFPA code, and other documents by reference. These also can be found on the county website. Comments shall be provided to the submitter of plans as any changes or requirements not clearly identifiable in construction plans or documents. And fees shall be collected at the time of the issuance of the permits. Some of the general areas and items to be examined during the plan review include fire flow requirements, hydrant placement and utilities, site issues, egress and ingress, building occupants egress, specific occupancy requirements, and construction classification. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me by email. I appreciate your time and thank you very much.